So we're back. I was going to do this last week or the week before, and then I got COVID. So anyway, let's jump right in. If I don't get to yours, just be patient. There's a lot of entries. So I'm going through them in order. I'm not skipping anybody. Okay, so this is Gene's photo. It is a 912 at the Golden Gate Bridge. And I think I'm 99% certain this was shot with a phone. So it's impressive for a phone. It's not impressing me overall. I think this is just too dark for the phone to be able to do. Kind of too dark in general, unless you're bringing some lighting or doing something with like a silhouette or something more interesting where, you know, you are kind of embracing the darkness. If the car was turned around, so I think these lights are really kind of bright and distracting. If the car was the other way, if it was pointed away and the taillights were lit up, it would work a lot better. I'm not saying it'd be a perfect shot, but I think having the taillights illuminated with all these other lights would work for me more. And you'd still want to work on angles, perspective, and getting as much natural light on the car as you could, but having the taillights instead of these signal lights or running lights, whatever they are, would instantly be a better shot. If our perspective was a little bit further away, a little more zoomed in, maybe a little lower, I think there's some potential here, but I think it is a little bit too late in the evening. If this was a little earlier, and again, the phone, it's really pushing to the limits of the phone. You can just kind of see just how sharpened and fried everything looks. I know night mode and phones can do a lot more these days, but you're running up against the limit here. So thank you so much, Gene. This is Nathan from RoadscapeUK. He sent me these. I instantly loved all of these shots from the top. So this is a Ferrari, either a 488 or F8. We're in a cool warehouse or garage or studio type of environment. We've got some smoke, lighting, color cast, and these just really work. This is a cool, this effect with long exposure, I presume, is just fantastic. Again, this is like a shutter drag thing and really, really cool. Just an exciting way to capture this car. So love the ingenuity, love the creativity. You know, when you get access to a fantastic car like this, I mean, maybe this is your car and you always have access to it, when you can shoot a beautiful car and then you can do something really creative and unique and special with it, that is making the most of the opportunity. And that is, I think, the best thing you can do in this industry is just, you know, when you have an opportunity to like really make something happen. So as far as critiquing, I wish this was a little bit of a wider scene. I wish we could see a little more. And then we've got the front tire is, I don't like to see the tire side. So if that front wheel was turned the other way or if it was turned straight, that would be my preference. I'm not opposed to this red cloth draped over the car. I think it's cool. It's just a little, I don't know. I want to see maybe more of a story for why it's there or what it's doing, or a detail. If there was kind of a progression where we kind of revealed more of the car through the photo set, because it is really beautiful how you see just the form of the car with the creases and the kind of contours in the material, the contrast. That is really, really special. So it is a cool theme and it doesn't bug me, but I think this would be just as strong without the cloth, or it's something where you push it and, you know, you tell more of a story. If there was a frame where it's like we only see the cloth and we see the drapery and the contours, that would potentially be a strong like storytelling element and make you focus on one aspect of the car. So the wheel is turned correctly for this shot. I assume it wasn't changed again for this shot. So, you know, if you're changing perspectives, maybe change the wheel turn or just leave the wheel turn straight. I think this is super cool. I have no notes The green is a little bit off, like maybe if it was kind of this bluish green of these other photos, that might just make it a little more cohesive. Again, this is really cool. And then this one's a little curious to me. I just don't know if this is a strong angle for the steering wheel. I love the green tones. And then we're seeing all this dust on the window, which I wouldn't have noticed otherwise, but we're really highlighting it. So I'm just picking at little things here. I love this photo set. I love the ingenuity and showing me this car in a way that I've never really seen it before. So outstanding work, Nathan. Thank you so much for sending those in. Nicola, I am supercharged, sent this. This is an Elise in a somewhat urban setting. And am I speechless? This is just a nice scene. I wish maybe I could have asked to see a couple more shots if there was a series. This is a really nice scene. The car is perfectly exposed. We're at like the late dramatic sun time of day. We're high enough perspective wise, so we're kind of looking down on the car, and we're at a nice long focal length, I would say. We're looking down on the car, so there's not really a lot of distraction in the background. This like bush, just getting the light, just kind of being this blob of black is maybe the only thing that could be said is distracting, but it's not bad. Yeah, this is a very pretty scene, a pretty car. I know what the subject is, but I like the background. I like this tree, this visual interest here. Really rich tones. So I don't have a lot to say. I think you're doing great. So great work, and keep at it. Thank you. Borislav sent this, and maybe I should have said, please send a few more photos, because this is kind of hard to analyze as a car photo. This is like an insane action spectacle scene. Is the car sharp? Yeah, I think so. It's pretty grainy. It's pretty grainy, but it's not bothering me. I'm just it's a lot to take in what's going on here. Maybe if we had a little bit of a shallower depth of field, I wouldn't see like all these individual faces. And I'm not saying they're the most distracting thing. Maybe it's cool that we see like the look of shock. We're seeing shocked people seeing this car on two wheels. So yeah, I think I would have liked to see a couple more shots or see what you can do as far as like shooting a car. But as far as shooting an event, capturing the spectacle, color grading the photo competently, capturing it sharp, composing the scene. I like that we've got this foreground kind of bollards here, but it's not impeding the car. It kind of frames it. Makes it look all the more precarious that it is so close to the edge of the road and so close to these bollards here. But yeah, maybe jump out of the way. Maybe we want to escape if we're in the velocity path of this car on two wheels. But yeah, this is something for sure. So thank you so much for sending that in. Hugo Fiévez sent me these 4 photos. We've got an action drifting shot. We've got a 917 in a paddock. We've got a 911 GT3, black and white, really blurry, actiony, really cool. And then a slant nose 911 parked somewhere very moody, also in black and white. So let's go from the beginning. So this drifting Silvia, I mean, it is really well captured. We see it's sharp. We've got a nice scene. We can see where it's coming from, where it's going. We've got the path of the smoke. It might stand to benefit a little bit from being cropped just slightly. If we cropped it so that maybe we didn't have as much on the left side, we want to keep all this smoke and then maybe crop out whatever this is here. I don't know if it's like someone standing next to you. A small nitpick. And then for the perspective where, the roof is just really aligned with the tire wall. There's not a lot you can do about that except get lower or get higher. And I don't know if those were options, but it's a great shot and great colors. Really fantastic sense of speed. Love seeing that smoke. I love drifting photos in general. They're just so exciting and visceral. So this 917, I love the black background, like it being, the shadow paddock with the sunlit front of the car. We're right on the ground with the camera, and we've got like the painted section of the pit lane probably is framing it. So I think this is really beautifully done. I think this is also a great perspective. I feel like I've seen like a billion times like having directly from the front with both the doors open, which would still look cool, but I love this angle. I would maybe like Photoshop out this kind of like silver, really like great action, great movement and everything. This reminds me of like a thing that I took this photo in college of a GT3, and it was on a track. I don't know. This is such a tangent. I'll show a picture. I don't usually make this about me, but I'm going to make this about me. I shot this picture of a GT3, and it was on a racetrack. And when I developed it, this was in like, film photography class, black and white. When I developed it, I didn't dip the paper in the developer. So, you've got the developer and the fixer and the rinse. I didn't dump the paper in. I like kind of dripped the paper, so the liquid developer ran down the page and kind of just like in these drips, and only that part of it developed. It didn't actually come out that cool because I think the drip marks were kind of going the wrong direction, but I'll post a picture. And then so that was all the notes I had on that one. This is great. I love it. And then this one, everything's really dark, but it's working for me. I love the tones, the texture, the richness, and all these bricks and everything. I think the texture makes the car, we don't have a huge contrast as far as the light values, except for these spots of reflection, but there's a huge texture contrast. And I think that makes this work really well. So this just looks really rich. It's an interesting crop. We're far away. I do want to know more about this scene and where this was, which I think is the sign of something that works, that I want to, be in the photo and understand it more. But yeah, definitely great stuff. Thank you so much, Hugo. All right, Gilbert Flores sent these 3 shots from NASCAR type racing, NASCAR Truck Series. So let's go through them. So this is, we've got a paddock, this beautiful sky, beautiful place. I think that the edit is just a little bit overdone. Like I think it's just a little bit too brightened, a little too fill shadow highlights, and I don't know. The lack of contrast is just a little bit unnatural, but I don't know if we're behind a wall or something. I'm assuming we're not. It looks like we're right in the middle of the lane. It looks like there was access. So after taking this shot, getting this amazing sky, it would have been kind of cool to run over here and shoot and get pictures of, some of these guys' faces as they're pushing this car. It looks like they're pushing it backwards. So I don't know if that helps for this photo. I do like it. I just think that it's a little bit overcooked on the edit. And then this one, car has lost a wheel or a tire, this Tundra, and it's captured really sharp, really nice. We've got sparks, great action. Yeah, I'm not loving how this other one is behind it really close, or kind of intersecting with the roof. Not a lot you can do about that, but if you had another shot of it going past, or as it got past you, I'm assuming these are going different speeds, so you could have maybe hopefully gotten one where they're aligned in a little bit less, less of an overlapping way. But very cool. We haven't had a lot of like NASCAR shots submitted, so it is cool to see these and also seeing action racing motorsports at night is cool. This is a panning shot. This section over here, the background and the panning is like 90% there, because I love this background. It's so blurred. We've got like a person here that is just looks almost like a light leak or something. We've got this just kind of like splotches of color. I love that. I feel like the part of the car that's the sharpest is this kind of sponsorship here, and then you go to the front and it's not as sharp. We also got some like possibly real sharpening stuff. So I would say normally if I'm looking at a panning photo from this perspective, what I want to be sharpest is like headlight and front wheel, especially because that is central to the frame. But if we cropped this, So we're looking just at the driver and the helmet. That would be really strong as well. I think, yeah, if this was cropped so we just see him and this guy here, that might be a stronger image. But the one thing that kind of takes me out of the photo is the net is down. So it's like this is not in competition. This is like a cool down lap or a warm up, or I don't know. Unless there's some reason to put the net down. I think they never put the net down unless it is not a hot lap. So that just kind of takes me out of it a little bit, but a really cool shot. I love seeing this racing action, nighttime NASCAR. Thank you so much for sending these in. Stefan Streli sent a bunch of pictures. We've got a great background, this nice rich tarmac. I like that there's consideration for where this is parked. Top view is really strong. This view is pretty good. I feel like with the wide angle, this is not my favorite angle for most cars from a drone. And again, I'm assuming this is from a drone because this one probably has to be, and this looks like the same car in the same place. Really nice exposure, like beautiful. Just the light and everything was just perfect for this. We've got two car details here. 911T badge. I think these were film scans, or one of them was. This one was not as grainy. This is not lighting my fire necessarily, but I know what it is. It's like this taillight detail, the curve of the fender and this taillight. So there's no ambiguity about what the subject is. So it is technically proficient. This one, we're focused on this 911T sticker on this ducktail. And yeah, I don't have any huge problem with it. Maybe it would have been nice if there was a little more contrast behind the tail, since the car is white and the background's white. And then if this really is our focal point, I kind of want the 9 to be sharp also. Here we've got a 356 with all the fixins on it, indoors somewhere. I find some of this to be a little distracting. I like the shape of this window. I really dig that. I don't know. This scene isn't quite as strong. This has a little bit more of like a snapshotty feel, whereas this is very purposeful. We've got a nice open background. I really like the tree branch in the foreground. Again, the wheels are a little too big on this car, but yeah, this works. Maybe check the horizon, but I do like that the roof is intersecting with the horizon in a non-annoying way. It's not like perfectly aligned with the horizon. It's just it's a little bit off, so that works. Trees don't bother me. The intersection with those, yeah, I think this is nice. I think this is also nice. It's a cool location, neat color grade. This looks like I did that video about Gran Turismo Scapes. This reminds me of one of the scenes, this too, that was in the Scapes. So I'm such a sucker for a location like this, and I would love to shoot in a location like this with this car, and you did it, and I think it works. So these are both great. Maybe check your color on the two of these. Just this one's redder and this one's greener, so maybe match those a little better. But yeah, it's a great spot. This one, whatever's going on behind it, the logs, like it's kind of hitting the back in like a weird way that's giving me a hunchback vibe. This is cool though. This is nice. So it's kind of a weird place to park this car also, where it's like the ground looks slightly like challenging terrain for the car. This is just fantastic. I love this, the blur, the light trails. It's like you want to see an action shot, a panning shot. You want it to be either tack sharp or really blurred in an interesting way, and this is totally blurred in an interesting way. We've got kind of these like the doubling of the wheels and this kind of shakiness around the lights. Like this says so much, has great speed and everything. I don't know what is here, but it's working. It's all just really chaotic looking, so I really dig this. And then we've got these two drone shots, I actually asked Stefan, I was like, how did you do this? He said it's like a first person view drone. And, if you're shooting with like 24 frames per second, you can get this motion blur. So, yeah, I kind of wish these were wide just so I could really see an expanse. But yeah, they're brilliant. The color's a little weird. Like I like this color better, and this one's a little almost pinkish, brownish, muddy. And I know it's a struggle to edit, colors and get the sunset and have nice contrast and everything, and then also keep your mint green looking color accurate and everything. So I get the struggle, but color's working a lot better here for me. Because we're at this angle, it's more about the drone and the capturing the shot, whereas this one is more like an objective view of like, here are these two cars. You're thinking more about the cars and the scene and the context, and here you're kind of thinking about the drone flying over and capturing the shot. Just something to think about when you're shooting. I think that the crazy angle is making this more. This angle is just making it less about the cars and the shots, and this one, it's like more of a fly on the wall observer. So I think I've effectively repeated myself too many times. Stefan, thank you for sending these in. You sent a lot of shots. I didn't talk about the G-Wagon because I didn't feel it was related. So, although I did just talk about it now. Okay, next we have Alex Harkey at Al Optics. And I know Alex, so thank you for sending these in. These are from, that's a double. This is a double. This is a double. Okay, these are all very vertical. Alex shoots a lot of events. So you can see in his work that he really is focused on, pairing these juxtapositions like these flowers in this color, or people interacting with the cars in some way. The relationship, and I find that really cool, especially because I don't do that very much. So let's start from the beginning. We've got a 911 here. We've got these these pink flowers, purple car and pink flowers. I think the car is nicely exposed and everything. These people, I kind of wish they were engaging with the car that is the subject and not had their backs to it. Not a lot you can do about that. So let's go to the next one. So I'm not sure if this adds to the composition so much, where he's looking away and walking away. I like the black and white. This gives you the feel of a scene, and it kind of feels like you're there. I'm not sure if him walking away and looking away is like makes the photo, because we're kind of seeing him as like the subject in this. So I didn't go to air and water, so I don't know. It is really fascinating how they had, I guess, this rock installation with around this car, which is super cool. It looks like it was installed at a racetrack. Yeah, I like this composition. I like the arrangement. I like that we're high enough up on some kind of bleachers or something, so we're not having our view obstructed by all the rocks. They're adding to it. It's a very surreal, landscape. It looks like, I don't know, Mars or something. Is the black and white helping? I'm not totally sure if it is. Maybe a little bit tighter crop might help, but I don't know. Here we have a woman wearing a pretty close match to Ruby Stone next to this Ruby Stone Neo GT3. So I think that is really a fun find. I would like for one of these to have kind of like an over-the-shoulder view where we're kind of just seeing, their shoulder, and more abstract of a, not necessarily more abstract. It doesn't have to be totally blurred, just like a color block, but even more of a first-person view, because we're such an observer in a lot of these. We're just this remote observer, and that is good, and that is a skill, and Alex definitely has a skill for observing and finding these moments. And that's how you find juxtapositions like this, which is super cool. So here we have a child looking at the 963. Yeah, I really like this framing. I kind of wish this wasn't vertical, or it wasn't so dramatically vertical. But yeah, they're both kind of, their eyes are both kind of going towards the wheel, and the wheel is like framed right in the center, and the people behind them are not really distracting or anything. And we've got like a great contrast in the tones between the lighter foreground, the lighter car, and everything behind it. So this one definitely works for me. Again, I would be interested to see it in color, and maybe even a little bit wider. This is getting close to the over the shoulder that I was talking about. We're kind of seeing from the child perspective almost. So I'll admit, when this one came through in the email, it came through because, oh man, Gmail and Google Drive just handles photos in emails like in 15 different ways. So sometimes it's like a little button for an attachment, and sometimes it is a full resolution photo that's 6,000 pixels wide that just comes to the email. So with this one, it came through that way, and I'm scrolling down, and I'm just seeing a little bit at a time, and I'm like, what is the subject here? And I think the subject is the unicorn. Is that what it's called? The Ken Block unicorn in the center. So the subject, I think, is the Ken Block unicorn in the center. And I want to see like a little more visual emphasis that is the subject, or because the framing is not really telling me that. Yeah, I think this could benefit from a different crop, because I think that the Trans-Siberia is not helping. I do encourage people to send me horizontal for this, because it is YouTube. I don't know. Is this better? Like I said, I encourage horizontal for viewing on YouTube. Yeah, I don't know if this is a better photo. It's definitely more chaotic, but it is kind of interesting that everything is so sharp, and there's so many people, and everyone is focused on these cars, and specifically this car. So I don't know. I think this is kind of a weird crop. Anyway, Alex is really good at finding these scenes. Sorry if I ripped all of these shots. Anyway, thank you, Alex, for sending these in. Okay, Tony Starr sent these shots. We've got a 993. We've got two of them. I think he said that the second car was kind of a random thing, coincidence. Same car here, and then this old Ford. He sent this one, and I said, hey, that's nice. Send me some more. So on this 993, I really like this crop, just how kind of weird and off-putting it is. I wish, if we were a little bit ahead of it. No, I don't know. I don't like the tree thing here, but I'm just going to look past that. I think this is like an interesting way to frame this car. I have no real issues. As far as I think this is like a street spot car, so I think it is a cool way to capture that, make the most of that. And then we have it parked here. It looks like there was like a CPL. We could see through the windshield very clearly. The red is popping. Another car is passing. So as far as these 993 shots, this one works for me the best, because this seems just the most purposeful, intentional. This one kind of feels a little snapshotty. I can tell it's not. I can tell it's, you used a good camera and potentially had a CPL, and we've got amazing depth of field, but perspective and the closeness to the edge just makes this seem pretty casual. This one also, I don't really like how the tree, how it is arranged with the car. Actually, if the tree has, I don't know. I don't know if the car has moved since this shot. It kind of looks like it has. I don't know if you moved the car, but yeah, this one, the high perspective is not really working for me here. And again, maybe if this was wider and we saw more expanse of this beach, boardwalk, sidewalk, or whatever. I'm just not crazy about this crop on the Ford, but I this shot, I think the color grade just really just seems so nice. This like creaminess. I'm not usually wild about kind of a tone on the whites like this, but I really dig it here. Just we've got like these amazing highlights. Yeah, I think it's really nice. And we've got the same car here. Again, I like this side view. I like this revealing the engine. It's all exposed really nicely. Like everything is, must have been like might have been an overcast day, and then the warm tones of the edit kind of make it look brighter and nicer, obviously warmer. So I really like what's going on here. It's like an amazing car in a great place, and this is a cool way to show the engine and also show the car and give us context for the engine. That's something you don't see a lot. I don't ever shoot a car like this that has, like a door that sort of reveals the engine. So you're really like making the most of a really unique car feature compared to cars today, where you can show a side view of the car and show the engine off and then still give us context for the rest of the car. And then this interior, again, I really like this color edit, and steering wheel is sharp, which is kind of a big thing for me. So I think you totally nailed it here. And then because we're looking out into the ocean or something, it's like just a totally blank, not overexposed sky, which looks really nice. So these three really work for me. This one, not quite as much. It was getting darker. It's getting closer to nighttime. I don't know if it's lit by like a street light or something. We've got these shadows from above, but it's still nice. But I prefer this. So thank you, Tony. I don't know if that was helpful at all, but it's fun to look at those. Appreciate you sending those in. All right, so Andrei sent these in. This looks like a car meet. I can't tell what these cars are. It's some kind of maybe Fiat or something. I don't know. I like the tones. I like these colors. Our verticals and everything are straight. We got a great ground texture. Only thing that I'm not loving is like I feel like the whites are really we've like really dropped the highlights out. So everything's kind of dim and not bright. So I would like to see the highlights brought back a little bit, so a little bit closer to white, but I'm not, I guess there's white there, but I still feel like everything was kind of made lower contrast. But I like these colors. I think this is interesting. I don't see a lot like this. Here we've got a Mercedes wheel detail. It looks like I don't know, I'm not going to identify the cars. But the wheel is sharp. This is, again, like kind of a weird for a vertical. I would have liked to maybe be a little bit higher so we could see some of the wing and be kind of looking more downward on the wheel, and maybe even get more ground. And again, this feels just a little bit dark, but I don't know. And then we've got Corvette here, really rich metallic paint. And there's a guy like on his phone there. Yeah, I would have maybe gotten lower so that we could just sort of block out some of these people. Maybe more of a detail. I think that front fender on one of these cars is really dramatic looking, especially from a low angle. So, or like a detail of the taillights looking down from above. This isn't bad, and I like that we've got the background. Like these buildings are beautiful. The sky is really interesting. So I think it is. I think it is a really like strong capture. I'm just thinking of like what could make it a little better, and I would like to see a little more space over here. This one, I can't say I'm wild about a lot of this, except this windshield, like the glass, like these colors and the rain, like the reflection. I think that looks so cool. So I kind of want to see just like a crop of that. Maybe. Maybe. I don't know if that's a shot, but that is a really cool texture, cool stuff going on there. So if any of that helps, thank you, Andrei. We got GD. So G sent me these shots. I think this is his 911, 991. First of all, I want to say he did the work. He got up at an absurdly early time of day and drove to somewhere really stunning and beautiful. And that is certainly hard for me sometimes. So, I mean, just an amazing backdrop, like for this morning dew and beautiful countryside. So where it's kind of falling for me is I think just the limitations of the camera. I think this camera is just not able to handle this kind of dynamic range. And I don't know if it's been edited or if there's like autocorrect stuff in the camera, or if this is a phone and it's sort of making this stuff really crunchy. But this just looks heavily overexposed. There's nothing, the blacks don't look very black. Like everything's just been brightened up a little too much. And for the background, it looks really nice. Like I think it looks really good there. It's a little bit over sharpened with like clarity or something. But on the car, it is, I want to see darker darks. And yeah, this color noise is just what happens. And again, I don't know if it's over edited or if it's limitation of the camera trying to do corrections in the camera and just being pushed too far. I want to see more background on the left and the bottom. It doesn't have to be a ton, but I kind of want to see just a little bit more width, and I want the car to be a little bit more, not central, but just give us a little more breathing room. And if it's possible to step back when taking this photo, that would solve that and give us a little bit nicer perspective. Again, I think we're too close to the car. It's again the same thing. The car is dark, but we've got this color noise happening. It's a shame. It's a beautiful highlight on the side there. I want to be a little bit further back, and I don't want to say just get a nicer camera, but I think your skill and dedication to capturing photos with this car would be served with a camera with a little bit more capability and dynamic range. I think this is a great start. And also this road surface seems like a little bit uneven maybe. Obviously not just the angle, the incline, but it seems like it's a little bit of like a rough road. Like we've got like a gap here, like as if it's maybe kind of tilting. What's the term for like four-wheeling where they, I don't know. I don't know terms. Okay. Thank you so much, GD. Christian sent 2 BMW pictures, and I have like nothing to say. I think these are really, really nice. First of all, where I live, we don't have green parking lots, so I think that's cool. So both of these were taken. It looks a little bit overcast or really end of the day or really like hazy kind of. It's not a lot of contrast, so this is a nice time to capture black paint like this. We've got nice reflections, clearly probably like a CPL for the hood and everything, and we can see the form of the car through these reflections in both of them. And just nice framing. We've got, the rule of thirds, just using that to full benefit. It's very poised. I would like to see the car maybe a little bit further away from the wall, but if you get too far, then that roof line gets too close to the wall as it comes closer to you. So I think this is a nice solution, and I think it's a great shot. And then the same thing here, really well captured. I think there's like maybe a little bit of chromatic aberration happening here, these purples. Maybe the wheel is a little bit blown out or pushed in the edit, but you can easily take that out by just sort of doing a local takeout purple, and that's like a quick and dirty way to fix that. But yeah, everything's great here. So keep at it and shoot some more cars and find some new spots like this. But I like these locations. Like they're very mundane, commercial, like non-distracting, like very pleasing, soothing locations. So great job. Thank you so much, Christian.